program is rated PG. It contains themes and scenes which may not be suitable for very young audiences. Parental guidance is advised.
Greetings from the Philippines to the world. We are on Facebook Live on Eagle News and also on our streaming site, eaglenewslive.com. Watch us on our YouTube channel at Eagle News. I am Cesar Vallejos. Welcome to Open for Business. Join me to discover the latest news and information and business around the world. Stay ahead of the curve from vision to action. We vividly remember the most recent natural calamity that destroyed homes and offices and disrupted businesses and the livelihood of many Filipinos living in Taal and its neighboring areas. It is also at that time that Filipinos and corporations, large and small, have displayed their love and affection to those who are affected by natural calamities. Many of the non-government organizations and companies activated their corporate social responsibility initiatives. This afternoon, we will have a conversation on embracing corporate social responsibility with a volunteer of Links and also the program officer for Northern Luzon of the Synergia Foundation. Trade and tourism is adversely affected not only by natural calamities but also by the outbreak of respiratory disease caused by the novel coronavirus that is now officially called COVID-19. However, that is not stopping people from performing tourism initiatives that are safe and secure. Here is a story of a group of young artists who changed the face of Baguio literally to help boost the tourism business in their area.
Gumawa po nito ay mga artist ng Baguio. Actually po wala pong grupo, kundi lahat po ng mga local artists dito po sa ating lungsod ng Baguio.
Kung bibilangin po natin ang lahat, di lang po kasi basta artist eh. Basta nag-volunteer din po kasi yung karamihan. So, aabot po siya ng 100 kung tutusin lahat-lahat. Siguro half of it is yung mga artist po natin dito sa Baguio yung mga nag-contribute para dun sa project na yun. Bali po, ano siya NCCA.
Yes, we are actually commissioned ng NCCA to do a project. And then, inopen namin ito sa mga local artists and then community. Dahil ang community ay nakiisa rin dito sa pagbahagi ng pag-paint dito sa mural na to. So, sa collective effort na nagawa yung mural na to. Well, nasabihan ako ng NCCA to design. Actually, ako yung nag-design ng buong concept. That's something that will represent the culture and heritage ng Cordillera. So, I was been given a chance para ibigay yung design. So, ito yung mga elements, yung makikita dito sa wall na to, ito yung mga elements na nag-represent talaga ng Cordillera. So, yung different ethno-linguistic na makikita natin, like yung mga Ifugao, mayroon tayong Ibaloy, Kandanae. Yes. At the same time, yung mga traditions and values na makikita, like dito sa ating left corner, meron yung resistance ng mga katutubo noon, kung paano nila pinaglaban yung northern part sa mga Spanish. So, yun yung mga historical na nakuha ko na ideas na ilinagay ko doon sa proposal ko para gawin itong project na to. Dahil doon, na-develop din siya dahil kumbaga naging malaki yung area ng space. Kaya kailangan namin mag-fill in pa ng other elements kagaya nitong mga textile weavings, itong environment.
Para sa connectivity niya.
And then itong mga rice terraces na very famous naman dito sa ating lugar.
Una sa lahat yung naging challenge dito, hindi kami sanay umakyat sa mga scaffoldings. Yung height kasi nang gagawin namin ngayon is medyo nakaka-surprise kasi sobrang laki niya. Dati mga pader lang na kahit lang namin, mga ganyan, or 10 feet lang yung tinaas niya. Pero this time kasi, 8 meters high siya. Tapos at the same time, challenge kami kasi gusto namin ingatan yung bawat isa, yung safety kasi ng artist yung pinakamalaga. Kasi dapat dun pa lang makita na yung unity namin as an artist na hindi porket may ginagawa kami yung project is parang hinahayaan na namin yung bawat isa na gumawa na lang kung saan-saan.
Saka hindi rin naging mahirap actually sa amin kasi may areas din talaga na kung hanggang saan yung capability ng artist, doon din namin sila pinapapunta or kaya pinapafill in, mga ganon. And then yung mga finishing touches, yun yung mga ginagawa natin sa last part. Doon sa pagbuo ng concept namin, actually nagpa-advise din ako doon sa mga leaders o kaya mga elders na nagbigay sa amin ng advice kung paano namin gagawin. And then may mga iba-iba kasing mga paraan or mga
tradition and culture na meron tayo dito sa Cordillera.
So, consultant, nag-aral din ako at yun, I go back to my roots. I go back to where I came from. Like ako, galing ako Ifugao doon. So, research ko rin kung ano ba yung mga textile, ano ba yung mga damit, ano mga itsura noon. At the same time, doon sa mga ibang ethno-linguistic, may mga elders din na nag-guide sa amin. Kasi sa kalagitnaan actually ng proseso namin, kamali daw yung ibang. May pagkakamali kaming nagawa. So, revise namin, inayos namin. And through the whole process, na-appreciate ng tao kasi parang nakita rin nila yung identity nila.
Saka yung value natin dito sa Baguio, kung paano yung kultura ay napakahalaga. Lalo na ngayon, kilala ang Baguio City as one of the creative city by UNESCO. So, mas lalong napahalagan ngayon or na-highlight lalo yung mga artist na meron tayo dito. Hindi ako taga-Cordillera, pero since dito ako nakatira at lumaki, yung puso ko nandito na rin sa Cordillera kasi iba yung culture appreciation nila sa bawat isa. Saka isa pa yung pagpapahalaga nila bawat dun sa mga ginagawa ng mga native people nila dito or yung indigenous people nila. Pinapasa pa nila to lalo na dito sa mga modern community po natin.
Karagdagan lang doon, yung proposal na ginawa ko. So, merong storyline actually yung kabuang mural. Magsa-start siya sa left side hanggang doon sa last part. Kasi from the start, kung titignan niyo yung piece na to, magsa-start siya sa resistance, papunta siya sa celebrations, and different showcasing yung values, environment, hanggang doon sa last part yung meron yung naka-traditional bike na naka-wheel
yung scooter.
So, yun din yung naging challenge sa amin na lagyan namin ng kwento yung isang piece. And then, something that will reflect to the future. Actually, yun yung pinaka-last part, no? The scooter itself, parang paano
yung innovation ng technology.
At the same time, paano mo i-adapt and i-continue kung ano yung kultura na anong meron tayo as a Filipino and as a Cordillera. Yung sa team kami kasi, so meron, lalo ng first week namin na
nag-base kami.
Paggawa, meron talaga kaming, actually, ang hirap nga kasi gusto namin i-project using technology na projector. But ang hirap kasi hindi kami pwedeng mag-work ng gabi. And then yung proportion actually ng mga figures and yung
dapat mapantay siya kasi
but through the help of our friends naman na tumitingin sa likod namin, talagang mano-mano talaga namin na yung eyes nila kasi iba yung proportion namin sa actual.
Yung pag malapitan ka tapos kailangan makita siya sa malayuan din.
Kumbaga para siyang tulong-tulong ng individual, ng individual sa collective siya eh. So, ayun, yun yung naging proseso namin. Kaya hindi siya naging madali, pero may mga kasama kaming nag-check doon sa kuwan. Personally, para sa akin, actually kahit hindi ako na-commission to do this is my dream actually to make this kind of street art. Kasi doon mapupukaw yung attention ng tao na public art siya for public spaces, mural for public spaces. Yun yung isa ko talagang pangarap. It's just that it came out na nagkaroon na ng interest yung mga sponsors to give us the chance talaga to make these kinds of art. At the same time, ito yung kumbaga isip ko rin na service ko sa community as an artist. Kasi most of the time, we do talaga mga commission work and then sometimes naisip mo rin I wanted to give a service to the community na it will reflect kung ano yung pinagdaanan ko, ang kultura ko. So it's very overwhelming kasi napansin ko ng mga tao, napansin ko ng mga government, napansin ko ng halos buong community. And then napansin din yung effort. Actually, napansin yung effort ng every artist, local artist na nakilisa dito na nakakatuwa at nakakayabong at heartfelt na marinig doon sa ibang tao na ganito na masaya. So,
Sa part ko naman, sobrang nagagalak ako kasi dahil sa God-given talent na binigay sa amin ng mga artist dito sa local community ng Baguio, mas lalo kami na-highlight. 'Di ba? Kasi naipakita namin yung talent namin na hindi lang para sa iisang lugar, kundi makapagbibigay pala to ng saya, lalo na dito sa community. Siyempre, pinagpapasalamat namin lagi yung naiingatan kami sa bawat ginagawa namin at yun yung parang chine-cherish namin yung mga experience na nakukuha namin day by day. Kasi bawat araw may napupulutan kaming bagong kaalaman, lalo na habang ginagawa namin yung project na to.
sa costing, umabot siya actually yung propose kasi namin. We are really surprised to the kung gaano pala siya kalaki.
Oo.
The total costing of this is only 100,000. So, that was actually parang for me, kahit na maliit, why not na i-open natin kasi ang ganda rin ng magiging impact nito sa mga tao. At the same time, yung continuation kasi ng culture na dapat i-adapt natin sa bagong generation. That's why I didn't really think of the price or dun sa binigay na budget for us. So, yun yung naging motivation ko to lead din kung i-lead din yung proposal. At the same time, andyan na yung opportunity kasi
Privilege na yun eh.
Yun.
Nung nangyari kasi yung pamana, nung natapos naman siya sa launching niya, pinakamagandang bungad sa amin, kahit patapos ang taon na yon, may mga bagong proyekto na nagbukas. Nagbukas ng bintana para sa bawat artist. Mabigyan kami ng pansin, lalo na sa mga proyekto pa na sumunod. Kung tutusin, meron dumating dito nung bagong taon lang, yung Lion's Head, kung saan grupo ulit po namin yung nairekomenda para mapaganda lalo yung Lion's Head natin.
With the help of Mayor, actually,
Yes.
he actually visited us dito sa site natin dito
Yes.
sa Pamana, and then siya rin yung nag-recommend for us to lead yung rehabilitation or yung repainting ng Lion's Head. That's why we're very thankful also sa government, city government for acknowledging yung effort namin doon sa ginawa namin na Pamana and Lion's Head. Kasi now they are really understanding, nakikita nila yung effort ng mga artists dito. Siguro po dahil din sa warm and solid na collaboration ng bawat artist dito sa Baguio. Madali sila kasing madali at saka maliit din kasi ang Baguio. So kung titignan natin, maliit yung Baguio at napaka alam ng bawat artist kung sino yung mga pwedeng hatakin, pwedeng tulungan, ganyan. So, naging madali lang sa amin, saka yung tulungan ng bayanihan. So, naging popular yon dito sa Baguio, kaya nung sinimulan namin, in-experience namin yung paggawa ng mga ganitong proyekto is sila na mismo yung lumalapit sa amin. Minsan, nag-volunteer to help talaga.
Gusto ko pumunta dyan, gusto ko tumulong dyan.
Yun yung siguro na napansin namin na talagang very unique yung Baguio. At the same time, very culture-based na sobrang supportive sa kultura at the same time sa art.
Saka dagdag ko pa doon yung banding namin as an artist. Hindi lang siya basta yung pupunta ka doon sa project site na gagawa ka at the end of the day, mag-iwalay kayo na para magkakaibigan. But most important, naging family kami after all. So since nung team Pamana, yung sa Pamana Mural hanggang Lion's Head, ganun ka solida yung samahan naming lahat na hanggang ngayon we seek for each other at patuloy namin sinusuportahan yung bawat isa.
We have lots of plans actually waiting na we wanted to achieve this year. especially yung mga art exhibit, and then yung mga advocacy namin, together with NGO, with links also, to help the kids nationwide. Actually, yun yung gusto namin.
Yes, same advocacy.
Same advocacy link to help the kids sa mga libraries. Library, like, library painting, yung murals, yung ginagawa namin. And then, exhibits.
Kung tutusin yung exhibit, kung dito pa nga lang sa Baguio na tutuwa na kami, paano pa kung nabigyan kami ng opportunity sa ibang lugar? At paano kung darating ang panahon, kung loobin man po ng Diyos na bigay sa amin yung ganong opportunity, sobrang magagalak po yung mga puso namin. Katulad ngayon na sobrang masaya po kami para sa lahat ng nangyaring ito.
And for more projects, we hope na, yun nga, makapagbigay kami ng inspiration din sa mga young artists to give them advice and then inspiration na to be, to follow their dreams talaga. If they wanted to be an artist, an architect, anything profession that they love, just pursue nyo lang. Kasi ang mundo naman is, at ang tao ay very perseverance.
Yes.
Kung talagang ginusto mo, kakayanin.
Saka lagi siyang mag-explore kasi, di ba? So, from dun pa lang sa pamana, may lesson na siya kung tutusin na wag kang makakalimot lumingon sa kung saan ka nang galing kasi dun ka nagsimula eh. Kumbaga kahit saan ka makarating, dun sa pamana na sinimulan po ng team na to, makarating man po sa lugar, babalik at babalik po kami kung saan kami nagsimula.
Open for Business will be back with Ms. Ningning Doble on embracing corporate social responsibility. Stay tuned.
This portion is brought to you by a vision-led TV. Bring your vision to life.
Watch your favorite Net25 shows on OSN Channel 725, same day as the Philippines. Watch your favorite Net25 shows live and on demand anytime, anywhere on any mobile devices on OSN Play.
The elderly undeniably serve as a significant part of society as they impart valuable knowledge and life lessons that can't be learned from school. That's why they should not be neglected and forgotten. Through EBC Cares, their societal contributions were once again recognized and their wellness ensured. They received free medical and dental services, such as eye checkup, blood sugar and blood pressure check, ECG, and free medicines, vitamins, and health supplements. They also enjoyed availing themselves of free haircut and hairstyle, massage, as well as facial and skincare treatments, entertainment activities, and other freebies. At EBC Cares, elderly people are treated with respect and appreciation. We believe that they should be cared for, protected, and valued. EBC Cares, enabling a better community.
Open for Business is back, and thank you, Miss Ningning Doble, for gracing the show.
Thank you for inviting me.
It's the first time. It's the first time of Open for Business here in Baguio, and what is really important to us now is the relevance of what you do, especially with what happened with the Taal volcano eruption.
Yeah.
There's a lot of companies, there's a lot of non-government organizations who are now helping our Filipinos, our countrymen cope with the eruption, and it's very disheartening sometimes to see them po na ang daming nawalan ng tahanan. There's a lot of people who were displaced with the eruption, and we see many large corporations also helping out, and I think that is where you're coming in as well. Gaano po ba ka-importante sa inyo ang corporate social responsibility? I know that you have been doing this for several years already, and you partner also with different corporations, government agencies in your work. How important is corporate social responsibility?
Corporate social responsibility is actually the social part of businesses in the Philippines. So it's so important because although businesses are really supposed to make money, they also have heart. You know, so they feel like they need to give back to the communities that actually buy their products or use their services. So to give back to the communities, they have CSR, which is actually mandated by Philippine law, that 1% of their net profit annually is given to social responsibility. So it can come in any form.
So the larger the company is, the bigger the share.
Yes, yes.
But are there any instances where there has been a lobby to increase 1% to a higher percentage?
I don't think so. I'm not even sure if the 1% is totally optimized for social responsibility. But
that's mandatory.
It's mandatory, yes. But I'm not so sure about the data of how. I'm sure the big companies are really doing it because I have worked with several. We have at Links, we have worked with several companies already. But I don't know about the depth of how they help sa ibang organizations or ibang companies. But yes, it is very, very important for them because sometimes when they talk about business all the time, sometimes the heart is not there anymore. But they always put a CSR department that takes care of that part para may puso pa rin yung organization. So, and it's really part of living in an environment, diba? You have to be collaborative, you have to be participative in solving social issues where you are. So most of the time, these companies, when they have their CSR programs, they usually do it in the area where their plants or their offices are located. Sometimes they go farther. So it really depends on their focus. Like sometimes some of them will be on environment, some on education. Depends on usually the president kung ano yung gusto niyang i-focus.
Nasabi niyo kanina, Ms. Ningning, that it is the heart, or sometimes other people call it the conscience of the business. With what happened with the Taal volcano eruption, some people think, or some organizations don't have in hospitals they call it the rapid response team. In other areas they call it, or even in a hospital, the emergency response team, or some call it the quick response team. The good thing with companies that have established CSR initiatives is that anytime there are calamities, there is already an institutionalized system that they do. In your case po, can you tell us more about your partnership with corporations where you responded immediately to the victims of calamities?
Yeah. For this specific case, the Taal evacuees, it just happened less than 2 weeks ago. So it's a new problem now. We do have a partner. It's a milk corporation. This milk corporation has a very strong CSR department. They have a very strong management team, and they actually study the data. Since it is a milk corporation, they usually do nutrition programs for the neediest children, neediest schools in the Philippines. They work with the Department of Education sometimes, but they do have programs specifically on feeding. For this particular case, we realized that one of the issues really is food. Food and milk is one of the things that even if you're not eating healthily, but with milk, the nutrition is really there. So it actually helps in preventing malnutrition, right? So during this time when we have evacuated towns surrounding the Taal Lake, we are talking about hundreds of thousands of people who have been displaced by what happened. And we are not even sure how long this is going to take, because until now, di ba, alert 4 pa rin sila. So we don't know how long we need to have food and supplements for these people. So this milk corporation happily obliged us. Actually, so many organizations have been asking for help from them, but they happily obliged us with 70 cases of milk products to be brought to a barangay in Lipa City, where individual homes have been adopting families from the Taal area, and they are the people usually not being given help. Because almost all the help go to the evacuation centers. These people have no more space in the evacuation centers. So the barangay, the families in the barangays happily welcome them into their homes. So sila yung nangangailangan ng tulong ngayon kasi hindi rin naman kaya ng families to provide for a whole family. They have their own families to feed. So
now, Ms.
yeah.
Ningning, for other companies, for large corporations, they have a system doing this, and as an NGO, you also have a system to tap these corporations and government agencies. Can you give us a briefing on how the partnership is developed between corporations, or even we talk about micro, small, and medium enterprise with NGOs, because there are also other individuals, private individuals and entities who would like to give their services, but they don't have a group who would try to, who would go there and immediately distribute the relief items, for example. In your case, can you describe how a CSR project or an NGO like you work so that we may be able to encourage other corporations to help you in your effort?
Right. So basically with Links, we are a small group. We usually get to tap these corporations through networks. So it's sometimes who you know, diba? So we have friends who have friends in the corporate world who connect us, and then of course they will not just give it to you. Well, the NGO has to ask for it, and they have to present. They have to present what they do, the data that we have, and then we ask for their help if they can prioritize this particular program and become part of their program as well. So it's not just our accomplishment, it becomes their accomplishment. So it really passes through a proposal writing, and then after proposal writing, we are invited to present the data and the importance of this program. And then when they see the value in it, and they see that it's going to have a good impact on the recipients, mostly children for us, they do fund it. We haven't had a partner who said no to our proposals. Everyone said yes. So it's a matter of I think the corporations, it's just a matter of them knowing how to help and knowing what program is actually important and needed at the grassroots right now. So sometimes they're just not aware, but they have the capacity to help, and I'm sure they have the heart to help. It's just a matter of them knowing how.
Okay. Now, Ms. Ningning, you mentioned about them looking at or identifying the value to them. My question actually is, what is it that they're looking in terms of value? Because, of course, maybe, I don't know if it's, call it human nature, but you know, some may just want their brand names emblazoned there, you know, as a sign of some sort of foggy points, you know, for them. But and then the others would want to. I think it's also, you know, the law also requires it that somehow it can be based on some computations. It is deductible to their taxes.
Yes.
What is that value, and how do you determine if that corporation is really has the sincerity to really help the needy in times of crisis?
How you determine how how valuable it is for them? Well, yeah, it's true, and it's part of business that they can use actually social responsibility to promote their companies. That's fine, but depending on how the people work on it, every corporation has the ability to develop the sincerity for helping. If you have a serious manager or a serious president or CEO who wants to use what he does, you know, use his business not only to earn but to give meaning to what they do, they will be willing to work with NGOs like us to look into this. I think corporations are actually, it's very valuable for them kasi not only are they promoting their brand, but they're actually being part of the social system in our country. We all know that, for example, in education for children, to make it high quality, we in this country are all stakeholders. We all have a stake in the education of our children. What happens of the children in their future, tayo ang makikinabang or tayo ang magsasuffer. Depende kung ano ibibigay natin sa kanila. So it's so important that corporations would understand that we do have an issue with the education of children now, and it's in the future, if we educate these children and they invest on the children now, then we have a pool of employees na pagpipilian nila who are actually good and employable and competitive with other global corporations. So it's
speaking of education, Ms. Ningning, I know that it is one of the thrusts of your NGO.
Right. Yeah.
So you're doing CSR, and I realize now that as an NGO, using, you know, partnering with corporations on their CSR activities, you also needed to focus on what you wanted, because of course, you know, as the saying goes, you cannot you know, spread yourself too thinly, and then you have to create impact. So the question is, why education? I think you have this data, you've seen, you have identified some pain points, and then you wanted to help address this problem.
Right, yeah. So our group Links is actually an all-volunteer group. We have been working for a long time, since 2009, for children in the Philippines, specifically on education. We've been doing it in the past. We've been doing it to, you know, for scale, you know, to scale up, cover more children, cover more schools. But lately, we have narrowed our focus on reading, particularly. Because reading has long been an issue for decades in the Philippines. The level of reading skills among children has been sadly deteriorating, and it's been proven by the 2018 PISA, which is an international test done to 79 countries, and this was conducted by a very good group called OECD. So this is legit.
Ranking?
Yeah,
There's
a ranking, and we found out of 79 countries in the world, the Philippines ranks at the bottom, number 79 out of 79 countries in reading comprehension.
Really?
And we are second to the last in science and math. So it's really bad. And what we have recognized this long time ago, but it only, you know, right now, ayan na yung proof. There's the proof. It's really the problem.
Okay, that figure is 2019.
It came out a few months ago, pero the test was given 2018.
2018.
Yes.
So basically, that's the latest data that was second to the last.
Yeah, we are last now
we
in
are last
reading
now.
comprehension, second to the last in science and
Is there
math.
data where we were a little bit higher in terms of ranking? Because I know that in terms of competitiveness, which is also measured global competitiveness, our ranking is
It was higher before.
Yeah, and
Yes.
no, I think it's higher. It's going higher now. It's moving up because of the policy reforms that are implemented by the, I think, Department of Trade and Industry, the OF,
Yes.
and the other sectors. So in terms of global competitiveness, but that's on the entrepreneurship side. But in the education side, is there data also that checks if it was high before and then it suddenly went
Well,
down?
I am not 100% sure if we have joined the PISA before.
Okay.
Yung PISA kasi, you have to apply for it. So our DepEd Secretary, Dr. Briones, actually applied for it. She wanted to see where we are. They
I
tested
see.
15-year-olds. So we're talking about, if we're talking about the competitiveness of our employees now, I mean our employable ages right now, maybe these are the generations before these 15-year-olds. Sila yung magiging next generation of
Yes.
employables. So it's a little bit, well, we're panicking. It is a cause for alarm, and actually it's our responsibility to panic because we don't really want our children to be the last. Not because we are competing, it's because if these children are not performing well in school, you are really robbing them of their good future.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I asked if there is data available before because although we all love technology, as a matter of fact, it's one of the thrusts of the network, but is there, I was looking at the connection between the old hard books before and the technology that we have now. Everybody's using
Right.
their smartphones, and sometimes the attention span is only
So short.
so short, and they
Yeah.
just read their books or
Right.
their comic books via
That's
their
true.
iPads. So I am trying to look at the connection between that, but at least maybe that's one of the areas where we can see
Right.
if we can also address and use technology to
Right.
have
That's
create
true.
that awareness in
Yes.
terms of reading, because some softwares or games
Right,
can be
right.
produced
Yeah.
that will really enhance your reading comprehension. But I don't like to delve on that. What I would like to ask you now, my final question, Ms. Ningning, is what are you doing in terms of identifying, knowing this problem? What is an NGO like you doing to ensure that you also tap the expertise of corporations, investors, and your friends from the different industries, and come up with a solid solution to somehow help in, as you mentioned, trying to help educate these young people who will be the future entrepreneurs?
Correct. Yeah. Well, as we can see, technology is really a double-edged sword. Yeah. Well, LGUs, local governments have really identified that children's use of gadgets is really one of the culprits. That's because they're using applications that are actually not for learning. Yeah. But we do have partners, we have organizations who have actually used technology to improve education of children. They have come up with applications that teach reading, for example. Sadly, though, because of there are so many issues. This is really multifactorial. Sometimes parents are just, pabaya. They don't really look at what the children are
Dapat
using.
ma-educate din
May
ang mga
ganon. So
magulang.
that's why I keep saying sa links kasi it's really multisectoral ang solution. It's really collaborative. It's working with not only with the teachers of the school, we work with the parents, we work with the barangay, the local government, and the partner organization, partner corporation. We work together because the solution is really, it can't be solved by just the school alone. It can't be solved by us. It's really the whole community that works together. We need to watch these things with the kids. So if you want technology, because it's already there, we need to use it to the advantage of children, right? So because it's already there, we need to watch what they are doing. So if they have like, right now, marami na, they have like TVs in the classrooms, they have progress, because the kids like that, then you make them watch things where they will learn from it, yeah. In Links, we are going back to the basics, library programs, because we realize that children, even if they learn how to read, because teachers are actually teaching them the strategy of unlocking words. Yeah, so once they learn that, but if they don't have access to books, so they can practice reading talaga, you know, like practice a lot of words, connect a picture with words. If they don't have access to these kinds of books that they really love, then they will really not learn how to read, because if they're using just a cell phone, everything is so easy. You just search. Yeah, diba? Everything's so easy. You just search. Kunyari, you want to learn about volcanic eruptions, you just type it in, and then it's there na. Unlike us before, we would go to the library. Before you find the book, you have to read the entire book to find volcanic eruption. So imagine the pool of words that go into your brain. So they don't do that anymore.
In one of the, I agree with you on two things. That's also the reason why Eagle Broadcasting Corporation came up with its PopCon, which is a pop culture forum. Because as we see, everything that they see on television, everything that they see on radio, the mainstream media is the kind of pop culture that is portrayed by anyone. So if our mainstream television is showing Hollywood, the kids now, you know, adapt to that Hollywood culture.
That's right.
But is that the culture that we wanted to showcase?
Exactly.
So that one. And then the second idea is, when you talked about using technology, Eagle Broadcasting Corporation also came up with explaining blockchain and cryptocurrency, where one of the speakers talked about increasing or helping STEM skills combined with soft skills, which is needed by the 21st century learning. So I think this is aligned with what you are saying, where we needed to really look at education to see what is lacking. Yun nga ang lacking. If you're saying that, you know, based on the ranking now, where I think on the STEM skills were very low. That is actually, but you know, going back to the topic, I was talking with Angelo Valdez earlier. He was boasting about the quality of education here in Baguio, where, you know, the kids, you know, the kids in one of the schools here talk about the value of entrepreneurship at a very young age.
Well, that's true. We do have a lot of kids who are smart, because we do have good schools in Baguio. Yeah, but that's not that's not all the children of the Philippines. We're talking about sa Links kasi no child left behind. So when we have a data of 80% of students in the school who are doing well, there's still 20% left who are not doing well. So our focus is to look at this 20% of the children, because we need them to be with these guys. You know, they have to be at the same level. Para naman they have a fight for a good future. You know, we need to empower them. We need to provide them with what they need so they can cope with their classmates who are doing well. Baguio so happened to be one of the best university cities in the Philippines, and that's true. But Baguio is just a city. In the entire Philippines, we have an entire, you know, we have 1,600 plus cities and municipalities, and just a few of these are doing well in reading. And it came out talaga in the PISA results that we are readers, but not, in comparison to other countries, we are not that good yet. Yun, so kulang pa. We are good here in Baguio, but we need all the children of the Philippines to be good. It's really for the betterment of our whole country. It's for us.
On that note, I'm giving you, Ms. Ningning, a minute to address our educators, the large corporations, or even the SMEs who want to join your cause at Links.
Yes. Hello. I'd like to address it to the SMEs and the large corporations out there. this is our chance to do something that is, really, really worthwhile. It's worth it to invest on children because the children really are our future. It's so cliche, but that's a fact. If we want if we want to have employable graduates soon in the future, we need to invest on our children now. The PISA results has been very alarming, and we know that you have the heart to help and you have the capacity to help. So if you can, please connect with the local governments or NGOs like ours, Links, or not even us, I mean other NGOs who work in education, and maybe you can have a conversation with communities, go to the grassroots, talk to schools, and then see how we can help each other in making it happen for these children. After all, what we do now for them will determine their future and their family's future. It's actually a very exponential, it's an exponential kind of help, because you help one child, you're actually helping a family of 4 to 5. So if you help one, if we help 100, then we're talking about 100 families being helped. So this can be done if we do it together. So there, I'm asking for your help. Thank you.
That's very inspiring, and hope a lot of our audiences are moved with that statement, with that message. That's Miss Ningning Doble of Links. Open for Business. We'll be back. Stay with us.
We are living during the most extraordinary time in human history.
All transport will go fully electric.
Es wird eine völlig neue Mobilität geben, meine Damen und Herren.
Rev, the new auto show on DW. Getting you into gear on cutting-edge developments.
Wasserstofferzeugung braucht Energie.
We focus on green technology.
Das Auto ist im Betrieb absolut emissionsfrei.
And also feature head-to-heads. And the latest launches.
Das Fahrgefühl war gut, er lässt sich sehr gut fahren, er liegt sehr gut auf der Straße.
And mobility stories from around the world.
Mercedes depuis 2005.
And our term of the week is Corporate Social Responsibility, or CSR. According to Investopedia, corporate social responsibility is a self-regulating business model that helps a company be socially accountable to itself, its stakeholders, and the public. By practicing corporate social responsibility, also called corporate citizenship, companies can be conscious of the kind of impact they are having on all aspects of society, including economic, social, and environmental. To engage in CSR means that in the ordinary course of business, a company is operating in ways that enhance society and the environment instead of contributing negatively to them. And our word of the week is from Klaus Schwab. He said, corporate social responsibility is measured in terms of businesses improving conditions for their employees, shareholders, communities, and environment. But moral responsibility goes further, reflecting the need for corporations to address fundamental ethical issues such as inclusion, dignity, and equality. Thank you for watching Open for Business. Join us again in the next episodes of Open for Business for more insights from CEOs, thought leaders, and industry experts promoting business development in the Philippines. See you again every Saturday and Sunday here in Open for Business, where we discuss business information, deliver the latest business news to keep you informed and open for business, and be ahead of the curve from vision to action. You're on Facebook Live on Eagle News, and you can watch us again in the video section of the Eagle News Facebook page and on eaglenewslive.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Eagle News. For Open for Business, this is Cesar Vallejos. Have a great day.
Congratulations to EBC Films Creative Director Carlo Ortega Cuevas for receiving the Film Ambassador Award for the film Guerrero from the Film Development Council of the Philippines. To God be the glory.
Abangan nyo ako ngayong linggo.
ครับผมชื่อผู้ใหญ่จรัญฮันเฮครับชีวิตการทำนานั้นก็ไม่ค่อยจะสู้ดีนักเพราะว่าการตลาดการค้านั้นมันแคบเพราะว่าการเข้าสู่อาเซียนนะครับมีความสำคัญมากครับเพราะว่าก็อาจจะทำให้การส่งออกของประเทศไทยนั้นมีการส่งออกที่ง่ายขึ้นแล้วก็มีราคาดีขึ้นครับผม
It's on the smallest farms like this one in Thailand that ASEAN's economic community is being built one step at a time. Trade tariffs between ASEAN countries are being eliminated, so farmers and manufacturers can export their products more competitively across the whole region. The AEC enhances trade in Southeast Asia through liberalization and facilitation and provides bigger and new opportunities for all businesses. It means qualified produce and products from one country can easily be exported to the 9 other countries within ASEAN, where they can be imported without incurring tariffs or taxes. That means markets like this one in Phnom Penh can sell their goods at a cheaper price than ever before, which is great news for consumers. Efforts towards building an ASEAN economic community have been taking place since 2007. There are 4 pillars within the AEC. The aim of the single market and production base is for there to be a free flow of goods, a free flow of services, a free flow of investment, a free flow of skilled labor, and a freer flow of capital. The creation of the competitive economic region seeks to foster a culture of fair competition and protect consumers across the whole region. The equitable economic development aims to narrow the development gap within and among member states and relieve poverty in all 10 countries. And the 4th pillar is integration into the global economy. And trade and economic cooperation aren't just within Southeast Asia. Trade agreements are also in place between ASEAN and China, Japan, South Korea, India, Australia, and New Zealand. Chung Yan-Fai has been importing goods from China into his shop in Kuala Lumpur for the past 15 years and says it's now easier than ever to do business with his Asian neighbors.
There's a relationship with China and ASEAN. There are a lot of things that you can buy from there, it's very important. You can see on the street.
And it's not just a one-way street. ASEAN exports a huge amount of products to China as well. In fact, in 2014, two-way trade between ASEAN and China was over $360 billion. One way prices of consumer goods are kept competitive while maintaining good quality is by having harmonized standards as basis for testing and acceptance of tests on products. So if a TV set, for instance, is tested and accepted in Indonesia, it doesn't have to go through another test if imported into Myanmar. And that means even less red tape, less bureaucracy, and a guarantee products are of a high quality throughout the region. This factory in southern Malaysia is making dock levelers, an important tool used to help loading and unloading from delivery trucks.
Here's one example where we produce